Hey Maria, it's Heather. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you have a good weekend as well. I wanted to just take the opportunity to respond to your discussion board because we responded to the same one. I don't know how you felt. I felt like all three of these questions were really hard, but I wanted to make sure I understood, type 1, type 2. I watched videos and read this paragraph over and over. My husband is now very knowledgeable about these two errors as well because I was like, okay, please help me understand this. I just a hypothesis testing how much their detail and how much stuff there is to know about just your null hypothesis, your research hypothesis, of course, how the chapters went into, are you going into one-tailed, two-tailed? Like, there's so many directions that you can go. But I love Salkan and Frey. I really love this textbook and how they're explaining everything. I think they did a really good job on just, okay, here's type 1, here's type 2, and just learning the difference between them. I think you did a really good job. I really like how you do like your paragraph and then you kind of have the table, because I do think that's helpful versus just kind of reading the sentences about it. I understood the chart that's in the chapter way better than just reading the paragraphs. And then I really like how you gave your examples. It was interesting. My office manager is getting her master's at Liberty. And when I said, hey, I'm trying to understand these two, she also used the example of the whole, type 1 error is the jury finds the person guilty when in fact they were innocent. And then, of course, the type 2, the jury finds a person innocent when in fact they were guilty. She had heard that too. So I think that is a really practical way to put, how to explain the type 1, type 2. Because type 1, like you said, like you reject the null hypothesis when it's actually true, and then the type 2 is you accept the null hypothesis when it's actually false. So just those statements, you can start thinking through, okay, the null hypothesis says there's not going to be a difference. So if you reject it and you're like, okay, I'm going to reject the null hypothesis when it's actually true, that's your type 1. Definitely too, when you accept the null hypothesis and it's true, that, that is correct. So we had to explain type 1, type 2, and then of course, if you accept the null, you're good. You haven't made an error. I really like how the book goes into, you fail to reject, you accept. These are specific terms that are learned, and I really like how they explain them. I think your examples are really good and really understandable. So I just wanted to take a minute to respond. I think you did a great job, and I love the examples. I think the more examples that we get of these errors, the more we're just going to understand them as well. I hope you have a good day. See you in class. Bye.